Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel BNB Daily Spoiler. Heartbreak decision. Taylor chooses Ridge's peace over own happiness.
A tearful Taylor tells Ridge she'll stop seeing Deacon, and Sheila playfully warns Deke, "I'll kill you." Taylor is perplexed by Ridge's sudden appearance in her office. He bursts. She is having a sexual encounter with a patient. Turning to Deacon, he warns him that if he believes this is happening, he is as insane as his wife. Ridge explains that Sheila has wreaked havoc on his family for decades. "It ends here," he announces. "Stay away from her." Deacon tells him that he did not want a future with this lovely woman, but he does. "I love her." Ridge wants to talk to Taylor alone, so Deacon leaves. Deacon Taylor Ridge bed and breakfast. Ridge grunts. "What are we doing?" Taylor understands what she is doing and will not be judged by him. Ridge emphasizes the dangers of the situation, which is unusual for her personality. What if Sheila figured it out? He scoffs when she says she and Deacon help each other up. Taylor informs him that he does not get to tell her who to love. Sheila's dark side. Sheila confronts Deke at Il Giardino and explains that she has planned a romantic surprise for his father. He almost throws up his pizza when he notices her missing toes. Sheila chuckles and tells Deke that he always looks at her as the evil person, although she lost her second toe protecting Steffi Forrester. Deke complains, "Can you put that away, please?" Sheila manages to coax a smile from him. Deke informs Sheila that he can't get beyond her past. She believes they can bond over Deacon's achievement. Deke is thrilled for him. Sheila declares that she and Deacon are creating something amazing there. Deke is proud of his father, yet he will pass on a future with her. Sheila will not give up. "You're going to like me. Your dad certainly does." Sheila grows darker, warning Deke not to try to go between her and Deacon, or I'll kill you. She begins giggling, "Just kidding," but Deke is not amused. She laughs because all of that is in her past. She and Deacon take their vows seriously. Would it concern her if someone tried to separate them and make her appear crazy? Probably, but they don't need to consider it. Unlucky breaks. At Forrester, the receptionist flirts with RJ, who enters the main office to welcome his mother. She tells him that he looks more like his lovely father every day. Okay, they decide to get a snack with Ridge, and Brooke reveals she doesn't know where he is. Brooke inquires about his interest in others, such as Jamie, the receptionist. RJ addresses Electra, saying, "But she's with Will." Brooke discusses all they've been through together and what they did for poor Dylan. RJ claims he met her. Brooke was disappointed that things did not go well at Forrester. RJ frowns. "What do you mean?" Brooke reveals that Jamie got the position that Dylan might have had. Brooke discusses Dylan's difficult life, which included the shooting and living out of her car. A few unlucky breaks, that's all it takes. Daddy is home. Back at Il Giardino, Deke informs Deacon that his 8-toed wife is waiting upstairs for him. Deacon goes up there, where Sheila is setting candles and asking for a night with her daddy. Deacon quickly tells her he's not up for it tonight. She inquires whether this is related to his session with Taylor. Taylor and Ridge continue to argue in Taylor's office. He rants at her about the need of being safe. That is why Steffi issued her an ultimatum. Deacon is not the proper man for her, since he comes with Sheila, and Sheila brings chaos. You need to grasp that. The final scenes. Deke walks out the back of the restaurant and throws his leftover pizza box into the dumpster. Hearing a noise, he asks, "Who's there?" No one reacts, so he departs. Dylan comes, opens the pizza box, and takes one slice. Dylan B and B. Sheila questions Deacon about his session with Taylor. He pretends to be sick, so she excuses him. When alone, Deacon grimaces. Taylor informs Ridge at her office that Deacon has seen her. He wants her. Ridge admits that he would prefer her over Sheila. Taylor expresses that she is not his exit strategy, but rather his choice. She didn't see it coming, and marriage is ended. Ridge complains about Sheila projecting all of her animosity and insecurities onto Taylor. "I'm correct. Steffi is right, and she is afraid. Are you scared?" Ridge does not want her to lose her daughter or grandchildren. Taylor sighs. "You're right." She wipes away her tears and allows Ridge to hold her hand. He wishes her happiness and love, but not Deacon. Taylor realizes it can't be Deacon. She can't see Deacon any longer. I find love, and it has to be over. In his apartment, Deacon murmurs, I love you, Taylor. Taylor, alone in her office, crying, whispers, I love you, Deacon. Ridge and Taylor are apart, a domestic gap that appears frail when examined. A newspaper headline is hurled like a gauntlet. Deacon and Taylor. Secret meetings? Ridge sees the headline and a photograph of a silhouetted figure entering Taylor's cottage at night. The image, vague and grainy, seemed damning in the press. Proximity equals misconduct. Ridge's reaction is quick and violent. He demands explanations in the house that evening. When Taylor's explanation about assisting a vulnerable person, an adolescent, an old friend, or an ex-con in need of assistance, fails to calm Ridge, he twists his worry into an allegation. Deacon learns of Ridge's charge through a family member and responds with hurt rather than rage. He believes the meeting was about crisis intervention. He requests that Ridge clarify and recount the entire tale in front of the family and board. Instead, Ridge, both terrified and proud, goes public, causing the first fissure. The show enjoys the image of a man who considers himself protective, turning into a judge, jury, and prosecutor. Ridge's insistence is understandable. He recognizes patterns, understands the dangers of marriage, and is afraid of being duped. However, premature judgment is the classic soap defect. The audience is pushed to look more closely. Evidence versus emotion. As rumors spread, the family breaks. Steffi is furious at Deacon on principle. She despises unpredictability when it affects family harmony. Brooke advises restraint. She has been through scandals and understands how nuance vanishes under the spotlight. Hope is torn between empathy for her mother and a desire to protect her father. Deacon travels to the only place he can be honest, a quiet booth at a restaurant, where he tells a trusted buddy the whole truth. He explains, honestly and sadly, that he met with a man named Marcus, or an identical background character, a former prison whose life depended on a testimony Taylor was afraid to reveal publicly. Taylor had requested Deacon's assistance because he had a connection to Marcus' neighborhood. Deacon's role was practical and protective, not predatory. Ridge witnessed Deacon returning a medical packet and a sealed envelope containing emergency contact information and Marcus' signed confession to avoid being framed by a malevolent landlord. The tension here is deliciously frustrating. The spectator, having witnessed Deacon's capacity for error, must decide if past patterns indicate guilt this time. The writers make this confusing legally but evident morally. Deacon's motivations are honorable in ways Ridge does not see. Meanwhile, a private text thread is leaked, not deliberately, but clumsily, and the wording appears to be something different when taken out of context. Ridge views it with confirmation bias, believing the worst. Boardroom and court of public opinion. With Ridge openly expressing the accusation, the board senses a tremor. Forrester's clients are concerned about a scandal, so a cautious board votes to temporarily suspend Taylor's public duties until an internal probe is completed. Taylor's sentence feels like exile. The irony is thick. Ridge's attempt to protect Forrester exacerbates the situation, turning suspicion into mainstream news. Meanwhile, Deacon becomes the focus of whispered questions at the garage, clinic, and coffee shop. Nonetheless, the people he knows best, his diner pal, a probation officer he previously assisted, discreetly support him. We see a little tribe unite around Deacon. He isn't a saint, but he isn't a predator. The show is committed to nuance. Fans are shown scenes of Deacon's tenderness, bringing soup to a neighbor, assisting a child and fixing a bike, to influence perspective. Taylor is caught between defending Deacon, whose messy compassion once guided her through darkness, and protecting Ridge, the man she loves. Her silence is misinterpreted as complicity. The inquiry into the alleged taking advantage claim begins, and the writers allow the drama of the process to play out in sequences with legal counsel, private detectives, and an ER nurse who recalls a late-night admission. Piece by piece, the truth emerges. The nursing note and the unraveling leak. A watershed moment occurs when an ER nurse, who had assisted Marcus, shares an anonymized intake note with Taylor's investigator. The note details Marcus's worry and Taylor's request that no journalist be there due to threats he has received. That note implies Taylor was defending someone whose life would be jeopardized by publicity. However, the tabloid does not include that background. Instead, it features a cropped image of Taylor and Deacon with a headline that imply romance or worse. The moment is classic soap opera. Minor evidence is cleared in private, but the public storyline continues. Ridge reads the tabloids, feeling justified despite the private developments. His conviction develops into a crusade to defend the family by eliminating the threat. He openly insists that Deacon stay away from Taylor. But Deacon refuses to go quietly. He has a brief, frank talk with Taylor in which he clarifies 2 points. 1. He never pursued her when she did not want him. And 2. He came because she requested assistance. He requests the dignity of speaking at the family gathering. Taylor, fatigued and mortified by the spectacle, reluctantly accepts. The family meeting and the truth that does not fit. As Sunday family gathering, soap operas adore Sundays. Deacon presents his side of the story calmly and bluntly. He discusses his bond with Marcus, Marcus' dread of being used by others, and the practical reasons for their secret. He produces a tiny stack of documents, including text messages, voicemails, and an audio tape of Marcus claiming he was threatened if he went to the police. The audio is chilling. A man's scared voice begs someone not to expose a swindle that could land him in jail again. The entire family pays attention. Steffi appears conflicted, and Ridge's jaw tightens. When the audio ends, there is a significant quiet that could be cut. According to Deacon, the late-night visit was to deliver Marcus' eviction notice in order to seek a protective housing transfer, not to slip Taylor something under the table. Deacon's compassion is practical, not predatory. Ridge, on the other hand, finds it difficult to let go of his wrath. In this scene, the writing focuses on human error. Ridge's fear of being humiliated by secrets takes priority over proof. He begs Taylor, wounded, to explain why she kept the facts hidden from him. Taylor acknowledges that she was trying to protect Marcus. She claims she didn't think anyone needed to know, and she never intended to harm Ridge. The moral complexity splinters the family. Ridge's persistence lingers. He can't get over the imagined boundary infringement. Outside catalyst, a third-party manipulator. As Deacon's innocence becomes more apparent to those listening, an outsider is revealed, someone, a corporate rival, an ex who resented being cut out, or a rejected associate, secretly leaked the images and selected the text to incite Ridge's rage. This person's motivation is painfully simple: to cause havoc at Forrester, exploit family fractures, and make a power play. They identified Ridge's Achilles heel, his quick protective streak, and weaponized it. Ridge was manipulated, and this revelation refocuses the tale. His response, while human, was prompted. The show revels in Ridge's moral certainty, which was used as a technique. The villain's unveiling is a delicious moment, as we see Ridge's face become pale as he knows he has been duped. However, the damage cannot be undone with a single apology. Forrester's reputation has suffered, Taylor has been humiliated, and Deacon has been openly attacked. The public, which was formerly incensed, is now ambivalent, and the board is concerned. Does this sound like classic soap stakes? Absolutely. The emotional rehabilitation will be painful. Deacon's redemption and Ridge's regret. Following the reveal, Deacon does not seek retribution. Instead, he takes the high road, delivering a brief, passionate statement on a local morning show, saying that he did what he did because Taylor had requested him to, and that a human life was in danger. He refuses to criticize Ridge openly. The decision further humanizes him. He is flawed but guided by a redemptive moral reasoning that the viewer admires. Ridge, repentant and raw, begins to reflect on the consequences of his hasty decision. In private, he apologizes to Deacon in a low-key manner. Ridge knocks on the diner window, and the two men speak beneath fluorescent lighting. Ridge says he was mistaken, not because he assumed Deacon was innocent at first glance, but because he never asked all of the questions. Deacon accepts the apologies, but not without regret. The scenario is a soap melodrama gem. Two guys reach an uneasy agreement after their reputations and feelings have been shattered. Taylor observes their conversation from within the diner, her face a bruise of relief and anguish. The reunification process is slow. Ridge and Taylor plan therapy sessions, public reconciliations, and collaborative press statements. The board relaxes its limits after considering repentance and proof. But the story isn't over. Reputational damage and trust deficiencies remain. The real work: trust, policies, and consequences. The following episodes are calmer, but more crucial. To prevent private acts from becoming weaponized, Forrester creates a new whistleblower and confidentiality policy. Protocols are established for caseworkers or outsiders require protection, reducing the necessity for clandestine involvement. Taylor leads the improvements, transforming her own anguish into institutional safety for others, a dramatic redemption beat. Deacon, who could vanish abruptly, instead devotes himself to community work. He assists Marcus in enrolling in a rehabilitation program and testifies at community hearings in support of second chances. The show portrays him as someone who exemplifies the messy grace of forgiveness, flawed, repentant, and ultimately giving. Ridge and Taylor are steadily rebuilding. Their scenarios are tiny, domestic, and earnest. Shared coffee at sunrise, honest calendars, therapy sessions with cameras focusing on microexpressions. The arc provides viewers what they want: emotional effort rather than immediate reunion. There are hurdles, jealous murmurs, a tabloid that refuses to let go, but the couple's efforts to heal seem earned. A new villain and a new cliff. Just as the family is settling in, it is revealed that the person who leaked the images is far more involved in the Forrester world than anybody suspected: an aide with a grudge, a competing brand boss, or an investor looking to gain control. The revelation suggests that this strike was part of a wider, more hazardous effort to undermine Forrester and force a sale. The stakes rise. This was never a personal conflict. It was a corporate war. Ridge, furious and focused, leads an internal investigation. Deacon, who has been cleared of involvement, becomes a reluctant ally in the hunt for the saboteur, relying on his old contacts and street smarts to find leads. It's a pleasant twist. The man who has been accused becomes an asset, his expertise and loyalty exploited to achieve justice. The episode closes on a cliffhanger. An anonymous envelope comes at Forrester's door, containing a single-cropped and anonymous photo of Ridge and Taylor from years ago, along with the note. This was only the beginning. The screen fades. Fans are left breathless as the plot progresses from personal treachery to full-fledged corporate intrigue. Themes, payoffs, and morals. This arc is about making snap decisions and paying the consequences. Ridge's charge, instinctual, paternal, and protective, was false because it was made prematurely and weaponized by outsiders. Deacon's innocence does not erase his background, but rather reframes him as someone capable of honor. Taylor's seclusion, while understandable, highlights the risks of acting alone when loved ones and public institutions are at stake. The series encourages slow, deliberate healing, such as policy reform, treatment, community service, and accountability.